So we'll be recording this session. The one I recorded the last time, I made mistake. I didn't activate the audio sound, so it was just images. So let me quickly mention to us that this training will be very concise and comprehensive. So to sign into this application, you need to know the URL. Simply put the address if you are not an IT person. Look at it up here, app.ipos247.com. Then you have this sign in page. You have username. Here you have your username and password and code. Or here you will use PIN. Your PIN, if you can use PIN if you have privacy. If you don't have privacy, you can use this. So I'll be signing in with this. This is my username, then my password. So signing in, you will see that you have an option to select the outlet. So I'll check in and sign into the outlet. So the next thing is to introduce you to the interface. This is the menu. This is for taking of order, managing the order, the inventory, which is the focus of where we'll be dwelling in, and here. So I'll be going to central store from here. This is where you select the central store item. So here, this is central store. Now, let's say to buy an item is purchase order. You need to raise a purchase order. So I'll be using one item as a specimen for this particular thing. We use Mirinda that time. Maybe I should use Ferrous. Ferrous. Yes, let's use Ferrous as an example. So I'll be using this Ferrous. We'll make requisition for Ferrous. We'll write purchase order. We'll see how it works. We'll also be doing requisition, and we'll also be running the recipe. So Ferrous, right? So now, before anybody can request for Ferrous, we have to create inventory item. So don't forget our inventory item is Ferrous. Now, let's say you want to buy Ferrous. You come to purchase order. You click on new here to raise new purchase order. You select vendor, open market. You add the item name that you want to create, Ferrous. So we don't have, you can see no Ferrous. So in that case, we'll create that item in the store. So to do that, you click on your name. You have an option to switch to back. From back, you will create the item. So the back end is divided into 4. We have this, what do we call it? Master, menu, inventory. On the master here, this is where you create different things, but here you can create vendors from here. So let me just digress. Our focus is to create Ferrous. So this is creating a vendor. You will come to this place, you click on account. If you want to create a vendor, you can create here now. Let's say the vendor's name is let's see my company's name. Let's see my company's name, Honest Edge, right? So I'm just copying it here, Mr. Honest Edge, the contact person. Then here you fill in the email address and some other things and save it. Before you save it, this is what you would take to make it a vendor's account and save it. This is how to create vendors. So for our account and so on, please take note. So now let's jump quickly to the inventory, which is the third item on this list. Inventory. So here is inventory. So the category, you create category first if you are working on inventory. So the category, a bunch of category are here, fruit and so on. What we want to create is soft drink, right? If we check, there's soft drink already, but to create new is simple. Click on the plus icon here, just type soft drink and save it. So the next thing is unit. So unit is very critical because the unit we are selling is different from the unit we are buying. For example, this particular Ferrous we can buy in crate, or we are selling in bottles. But let's say if it's Coke, for example, we buy in crate, we sell in bottle, we also sell in CL. So CL now becomes the least unit in that particular item. So you have to identify the least unit of every item or the unit at which you are selling it. So to create it and the unit you are buying it, it is very critical. You will see how important it is as we progress. It's called the base unit. Then the inventory item itself, you create it here. But to create unit, You come here, you click on the unit. Let's say it's bottle. Because I have bottle, we created sachet. We created sachet earlier. So let's say the unit you want to create is let me say maybe cake. Then here you put the decimal place and save it. So I haven't done that. That's how to create unit. So we'll go to the inventory item itself. So from the inventory item, we will see that we have a bunch of items here, but to create a new one, you click on the plus here. So we are creating ferrous. Don't forget, we are using that as our ferrous. We find it under which category? Under soft drinks. Very important. We mention about unit, bottle. So now you add another unit by which you'll be buying it. Let's say crate. How many bottles do you have in crate? 12. You put the converting factor and tick this so that I can help you that. That's one. Number two, action or second leg is to create the outlet. It will be found in central store and at the outlet where it will be sold. You can create minimum and maximum quantity to be stored or the other level. When it hits 10 bottle, the software should remind you to buy. Maximum, let's say is 5 or let's say 60 bottles maximum. Then here, let's say if you hit 5 bottles at the outlet store and maximum, let's say 30. So this is subject to your calculation. It's very important. Then let's say you are buying a bottle of ferrous for 500 or 400. Here also is 400. This is how much I'm buying it. If there are supplier, you can type supplier to you. Just hold on. So after creating this, you save. This is how to create item. So after we have created this item, what is next for you to do now is for us to go and buy that item. So we'll switch back to front end by clicking on our name, and this will switch to front end. So at the front end, we'll go to the inventory module again. We are still at central store. Every purchase order is raised from the central store. Every purchase order is raised from the central store. Sorry, I want typing something to somebody. So every purchase order is generated from the central store. Now, having done that, you will now see that we are here at the purchase order, at the inventory. We see purchase order and so on. So we click on purchase order. So we want to buy ferrous. It was not there before. So we'll pick it. The vendor, now I've shown you how to create a vendor. So let's say this is the vendor that will supply it. After you've done that, you come to add item. Let's say ferrous. So we are searching for ferrous. Have you seen ferrous? We save it. So you say we need, let's say, crate, two crates. This is the value for a crate. We are buying 2. So 2 crates automatically is 9,000 plus for the 2 crates. If there are taxes, you click on tax, but you have to configure the tax like VAT you pay if you are buying for supermarket. If there are other charges like delivery charge and so on, you can add it. This also needs to be created. So I haven't done that. You click on save. Now that being said, we can configure it that before this purchase order can go to the vendor, it has to be approved. But currently, as we speak, I've not enabled that depending on your structure. So now that we have done this, let us quickly receive let's receive this item. You click on it, you say receive. But before then, you may want to print it. If you want to print it out, maybe somebody is taking it to the market for signing, because this is really valid document for purchase, or you want to send it as an email, provided you have the email of the vendor. So let's just say now it's gone and they are here to deliver. So you click on receive. Now we have ordered for 2 crates, but you may receive less than what is on the purchase order, but you can receive more than, and some instances it does happen that you receive less than what you requested for. For example, maybe because of availability and so on, maybe that one crate or later to come and balance it. But we are receiving two that we have ordered. You click here, this is two. If you want to adjust it to one, you say one, but I want to receive the entire two. You click on continue. Now that we have continued, you can see it has moved from being receiving and from being purchase order to goods receipt note. So this is the vendor's name. You generate the invoice generated, you put it there. Then, because this invoice number that is on the receipt will be used for payment, then you click on save. This is how to make purchase order and to receive. And you just, the software is saying all items of this PO has been fully received. You want to mark it as complete? Yes, we are done with it. So now, before we progress, I'd like to mention to you that purchasing and GRM populate central store. What depletes central store is issuing. So that's one to note. Number two, what populates the outlet store is requisition and issuing from central store to them. Now, what is it that depletes the outlet store? It says what depletes central store is issuing, and what populates central store is procurement from purchase order and GRM. Now, so we have seen purchase order, but there are instances where things will be brought to the office, and that thing that is brought to the office is what do we call it? Is you did not raise purchase order. Let's say the owner travel and on our way or on his way back, maybe let's say he got banana at Ore. Say this is banana 20,000. This is the receipt. So what do you do in such instance? You just come to this icon, still on central store, you come to GRN because there's no PO. So to raise that, click on plus. So we'll buy from maybe, let's say this is the vendor's name or open market in this regard. Let's say this is the receipt number. You add the item. So the item is Ferrous again. So Ferrous in this instance now, maybe it's just one bottle, or let's say 10 bottles. 10 bottles was bought at the same price. You save it. That's all. So now let us look at our report and see the implication of what we've been doing. Click here. We navigate down to report and we see what we've been doing since. So here we want to switch to central store. We're already on central store. The report we're looking for is here. These two reports, inventory report and stock report, is what manages the entire inventory report. So click here, ledger. So we want to see last purchase price. So from central store, let's select the item so that we don't have too many items. So we have Ferrous. This is it. So let's see what's up with our Ferrous from 11 to 12. Let's see the report. So we can see when we created Ferrous, the opening balance is 0. We bought 2 crates, which is the GRN we raised. We also bought 10 from GRN direct without purchase order, you recall. So this is the total crate now. We have 2 crate 10 bottles at this value. So let's continue. So now that we have bought, requests can be made from the outlet. But let's quickly switch back. Okay, report can be made now from the outlet. So let's go back to the outlet. So the outlet now, you click here and switch your outlet name depending on what the name of your restaurant is. So you come here. This is on the outlet now. So we'll come to the inventory icon. We have this, and now we are jumping to indent, right? Now this indent is how to make requests. So request is like writing a letter from me to you. So we are writing from your outlet name to your central store. Now, these two icons here, I'd like you to observe it. The first one is the traffic you generated, and this one is the traffic sent to you, received, like your inbox. So to raise a new indent, now you click on the plus icon, which is typical of the software. Anything new you want to do, just look for the plus icon. So we are sending this request to central store. You add the item you want. What we want is Ferrous. This is it. You say save. What do you want? So now you may want to check your store if you have at your outlet. You see, show me stock at hand. This icon at the bottom left. You see 0, you don't have. So here, let's say we need, let's say 20 bottles. Is what we need. Then you save it. So I haven't saved it. You can see it's pending. So it needs to be issued to but the central store has to see it, and the central store person can receive this via notification, email notification, provided all the configuration is done. So to do that, you switch from here to central store. So central store will now go to indent, which is our requisition portal or icon on future. Now you can see it's blank here. That request came on the 11th. Please be date conscious. Now here we have the inbox. Now to see that request is that red icon at the upper right. You click on it. You come here, select it. You see this is the item, but it has to be approved first. Now some places the storekeeper may not be able to approve. It may be the manager after the approval is given before he or she can issue. To approve first, you have to recall. After recalling, yes, you requested for 20 bottles, you give 20 bottles. You may want to check also before approval is given to see if you have enough in the central store. You click on show me stock at hand, this icon at the bottom left. You can see we have 2 crate and 10 pieces, so you can conveniently give the person 20 pieces. You save it. Now the quantity has been authorized. You now come here and click again. Then you approve it. Click on this approval icon at the bottom right. After approval is given, then you can select the item again, and the storekeeper can now issue by clicking on the issue icon. Now you want to issue, this is the value. If you have remark, you put the remark, Ferrous 20 bottles and so on. This is the price, and you see this is issuing. So you have issued to them. So let's see what now happened to the stock in central store in relations to Ferrous. So we'll come to report. So report, coming to our stock report again, right? So let's say last purchase, what item? I may say Ferrous, just so that we won't have a bulky report. Let's streamline it to 1. So we'll report it. But we won't see anything here because the date is 12. We want to pick it from 11 because the software we have not run audit to bring it to the current calendar date. So can you see opening was 0. We have purchase order we bought, the one we received with GRN. This is the balances. Then there was a request, and with this stock transfer 20 bottles at 400. This is the value of what was transferred. Now what do we have left? We have 1 crate and 2 bottles. And you see this is what has happened in central store. Now if you check the other outlets, let's say now I want to check what do we call it, Mamacha as an outlet, your outlet name. Now let's see what happened about it as regards Ferrous, the report of Ferrous. You will notice that the opening balance is 0, and now we have 20 bottles. So which makes it what do we call it? Which makes it 20 bottles that we have, because we received 20 bottles from central store, so subject to the request we made. Is that clear? So we can see that issuing was depleting this particular store, central store, while receiving is populating this. So what now depletes the store, the outlet store, is sales. Now how do you do that? We will be setting the inventory to consumption, recipe consumption rather. We'll have to create it and configure that. So to do that first, we need to confirm first, do we even have Ferrous as a menu item? So we have to create it. So I'm using this opportunity to quickly show us how to create menu item. To do that, you click on your name, you switch to back. We want to create Ferrous as a menu item before we can add recipe to it. So I told you these 4 feature here. The second one here is, second column is menu. So we'll create menu item. So we want to create Ferrous. This is Ferrous, Ferrous. So this is Ferrous. It's beverage, soft drinks. You look for it. You come here, default menu, beverage, look for soft drinks again. Then the price, let's say, is 4,000 per bottle. You indicate the tax. If it's tax inclusive, you tick here. If it's task exclusive, you uncheck, but make sure the task is here. You indicate which printer or print the kitchen or bar is bar. So you save it. This is how to create menu item. Now that we have created this menu item, for us to sell a bottle of Ferrous, we will need one bottle from the stock that is at the outlet. So let's assume it's jollof rice. We will need rice, vegetable oil, chicken, and so on. Those are recipe. So let's see how we tie recipe to our item from the back end. So you jump to the inventory column, which is the third column. You now come to bill of materials. Now, we want to add to Ferrous. This is the inventory item. To add to it, you click on it. Now we are adding. This is the price we are selling. If you wish to know your profit margin, you click here. Software will calculate the profit margin. So we are adding now. We say now that what do we need to sell Ferrous? We need Ferrous itself. Here we select bottle not crate. You see why we are particular about the unit. If it's rice now, it has to be grams. So that's how your first unit, if you want to create like rice, semo, yam, all these things has to be in grams that you measure. Because if you put kg, are you going to see that for every portion of semo, it should consume 1 kg of semo? So that will be disastrous. Please, if you are creating item in the inventory item, please make sure you understand the unit. Otherwise, you hold on and call. So here, I put bottles. How many bottles needed to sell the bottle? 1 bottle. Cost price will cost 400 naira. So if we click on 400 naira, can you see the software is telling us that our profit margin is 90%. So I will save it. So we have created that. So now let's switch to front. Let's go and sell Ferrous. Right? Want to sell Ferrous, and let's see how that impact the inventory at the outlet. So let's sell Ferrous. So here I want to sell Ferrous. I call that Ferrous. So come to dining or from takeaway. So here we see like this. Let me know. I don't want to put Nathan's name. Let us say Training. That's the case of that's the name of the guest. Save it. Now Training now. So we have Ferrous. Ferrous, we put it under soft drink beverages. So we navigate to soft drinks. We are soft drinks. But if you can't see, this is soft drink. But let's say you from soft drink you see Ferrous. But let's say you find it difficult to find, to just type the name of the item here, the software will pop it up. Therefore, this is just to show you how this is done for knowledge sake. Now, Ferrous, let's say we are selling 5 or 7 bottles. We just sell it direct. So now we are selling this. Let's say we want to pay as cash. Selected cash, we'll pay. So we have sold 7 bottles. So now let's see how that has impacted the items that we have. You know that we receive, right? This is the report we got from Amacha that we received 20 bottles. Now we sold 7 bottles. We should have 8 left. So here now we come to our report. We want to see what has happened, or want to see our consumption report. So 2 reports you can do in this way. You see item consumption report and check your stock ledger in relation to your outlet. Amacha. Your own outlet can be, it could be Kivu, it could be any name of your restaurant. So here, I want to check consumption report. Can you see menu item consumption details? So here, I have to mention to you that the software will really go through all your inventory that you have created to calculate and be sure. Until this notification is gone, the software is not done calculating. So you have to wait for it to calculate. But this is also subject to how fast your internet is and how robust is your inventory. You know, I've uploaded almost 200 items, so you calculate what you bought, what you sell, last receipt, and so on, just to get accurate record. So I will tell us that anytime you are fetching this report, let it be early in the morning before you start, or if you are doing your audit, such that the software is calm, or midnight when it's not in use, so that it can quickly calculate this thing and show you. So we'll be patient to see. So while we are waiting for this to be ready, I would like to mention to us that we have done a lot in this time. We've learned how to, we were introduced to the software, and we're told, and we are focusing on inventory. So the inventory chain is divided into multiple sections, which is this that you are seeing here. Purchase order, goods received, no physical, no, stock exchange, stock adjustment, manufacturing, and this. We will not touch on all, but the basic that we need to get us running on the work we have done this year is what we are trying to cut out with. So we have touched on indent, how to make requests. We have seen how to issue, how to approve and authorize quantity. We've also looked at how to raise purchase order to populate our store. We also see how we can raise GRN to populate our store and how to record the invoice number, right? So we've seen report also of our opening balance and what it was after we have done procurement. So sometimes when this thing is taking time like this, you may just sign out and resign it. So it will refresh the entire account. So I'm resigning it to see if that will solve our problem. Get me in. This notification, you just ignore it because we are not running audit. So let's go to report. Consumption report. So let's see, it's still not ready. So let's refresh it again. I believe it will be ready soon. The moment it disappears, means it's ready for us. So please, I told us that the base unit is very important and critical for us in this particular application. So you need to really make sure that you understand what it is you are doing at any point in time when you are creating inventory item. It's very important. Please, if you are confused about it, hold on and ask questions. Mr. Dominic, I remember that this was the reason I suffer a lot to have this inventory reconfigured. It took me a lot of time to set it. So please, I don't want us to destroy the back end. Please, before you do anything, just please take your time to ask questions. So let's wait for this to recalibrate so that we can see the report of how these things has impacted our inventory. So it's ready. So we are looking at our channel. So we say report. So we can see now that, can you see, we sold ferrous 7 portion. This is the value, total amount of what we sold. Inventory item that was sold is ferrous. So if the inventory item, let's say it's jollof rice, you will see the number of portion of jollof rice you sold. Then the recipe that is attached to the rice, pepper, maggi, everything will be here, and the portion and the quantity sold in terms of the unit you will see. So this is consumption report. So let's see the stock itself from the outlet. Stock report will come to our stock ledger from 11th or so. So let's see how it impacts. Let's say last purchase. Then we may ignore the 0. Let's see how it impacted ferrous, which is our focus. So where's ferrous? Can you see? I have opening balance of this. There was stock transfer we received. We sold here from 7 bottles. Total balance is 1 crate and 1 pieces. You know, we requested for 20 pieces. We sold 7. So can you see? So, gentlemen and ladies, this is it. So, but something I would like to quickly touch on before we call it a day is physical stock. Because now you've already have your stock in the hotel or restaurant or lounge. Now, there was no purchase order when it was done. So now you want to do physical counts so that I populate the software, so that what the record you have physically to be the record we have on the computer or on the software. Now, so what we now be changing is, as you are buying, you are adding to it, but we need to have an opening stock balance. To achieve that, you come to the central store now. Central store will do its own count physically, then the outlet store too will count what they have in their custody and have a stock balance. If there is any item that you have in kitchen, in central store and on the outlet that is not in the system yet, in the software, please create it. We have dealt with that on how to create it. Now, let's use central store, for example. So that ferrous that we have currently. This is our report on Pharaohs, right? We have, let's put the report again on Pharaohs so that we just use that to show you or teach you how to do stock adjustment. So I'm coming to stock ledger, as purchase. Let me select that item called Pharaohs, right? From 11th to today. So let's see. The software say we have 1 crate 20 pieces. But let's assume that it's just 50 bottles. Let's say now you are doing stock count, right? Let's say you are doing stock count. Then when you counted fails, it's 50 bottles. Or let's create an item. Let me call it sample Maggie, just so that there will be no confusion. Switch to back. So let's say sample Maggie. I'll call that item. This will be an opportunity for you to learn how to create an item again. So let's say I'm creating an item. I call it sample cube. Right? It's part of seasoning. Unit is gram. Let's say 20 or 50 grams is equals to 1 cube. There's no cube, I'll just use pieces. 50 grams is equal to 1 cube. So we can find it in central store. Right? Let's just leave it. Let's leave it like this. Then we save it. So let's do a physical store count now. So after we save it, we'll come here. So don't forget, we are focusing on central stock, but physical stock opening has to happen in all your outlets. So now we come here, physical stock. If you click on new, you see opening stock. That's what we are doing. We are not doing closing stock. And this opening stock is once. So add new now. So let's do Pharaohs. I want to touch on 2 ways. And that's cube that we did. Sample cube. So this is it. So we have these items now. So here, Pharaohs is telling us that, by default, this one will always be 1. So let's assume that it is 0. You want Pharaohs to be 0. You don't have again. Maybe the one you bought, you have finished selling it. And this one now, you want to have, let's say, 100 pieces. You put it there, 100 pieces. The value for 1, let's say, is 20 naira or 10 naira. Can you see? You save it. So after this is done, you click on this to process it, because now it's not done till you process it, then it becomes a law. Click on process. So let's go and check our report on this now and see the difference. We have this report here, right, on Pharaohs. So let's see. Our report now here will come here. We'll report. We want to see what is our stock balance on Pharaohs. Today is 12. Central store, stock ledger, central store, last purchase, item name, Pharaohs. I don't want to pull everything because I will have said you should ignore 0. We'll check for Pharaohs. We will check for this. So Pharaohs, we can see this is our opening balance. And physical stock adjustment has brought us to 0. So we have 0. But these are other activity that has happened today. So let's check for Maggie or the cube that we worked on. So let's see what happened. Can you see cube started with 0? Or we say you should adjust it to how many pieces? Is it 199 pieces we put instead of 100? Okay, can you see? So as simple as that. So I'd like us to, gentlemen and ladies, to please continue with our work. Thank you very much.